Just hours after a dream came true for Oregon football standout Derrick Harmon, his world was turned upside down. Drafted into the NFL by the Pittsburgh Steelers, Harmon reached a lifelong goal, the culmination of years of hard work, sacrifice, and dedication. But what should have been the most exhilarating moment of his life quickly became a deeply heartbreaking one. Not long after receiving the call from the Steelers, Harmon's mother, Tiffany Sane, passed away. She had been on life support at the time of the draft, and her death marked a devastating emotional twist to an otherwise celebratory day. For Harmon, this was a moment he had envisioned countless times, one he undoubtedly wanted to share with the woman who had supported him every step of the way. Tiffany Sane had been more than just a mother. She was his rock, his motivator, and his biggest cheerleader. Her presence loomed large over his athletic career, always pushing him to keep striving, to stay focused, to believe in himself even when the path got rough. There's little doubt that Harmon played every game with her in mind and probably envisioned her cheering the loudest when his name was called in the draft. When that call finally came, Harmon officially became a member of one of the NFL's most storied franchises. The Pittsburgh Steelers recognized his potential and added him to their roster, not only because of his physical talents on the field but because of the kind of character he had consistently shown throughout his college career. Known for his discipline, humility, and strong leadership, Harmon was the kind of player coaches gravitate toward, not just for what he can do in the trenches, but for the kind of presence he brings to the locker room. But even as the draft day celebrations echoed around him, Harmon was living a moment of quiet, painful duality. There's a unique kind of emotional conflict that arises when the highest point of a person's life crashes into their lowest, and Harmon was experiencing that in real time. Few could ever imagine that the joy of hearing your name announced as an NFL draft pick could be so immediately followed by the piercing grief of losing a parent. The Pittsburgh Steelers released a statement acknowledging the situation and expressing their condolences to Harmon and his family. It was a gesture that reinforced the NFL's growing recognition that its players are more than athletes. They're people with personal lives, emotional struggles, and families who play essential roles in their journey. The team pledged support to Harmon, making it clear that they would be by his side as he began this new chapter of his life under the weight of profound loss. The story of Derrick Harmon and Tiffany Sane resonates on a level that transcends football. It's a reminder of the human side of sports, the sacrifices families make, the quiet battles fought away from the spotlight, and the depth of love between a mother and son. While fans and analysts often focus on stats, combined performance, and draft grades, moments like this pull back the curtain on what really matters. Behind every draft pick is a story, often filled with struggle, triumph, and the kind of love that fuels greatness. Those who knew Tiffany Sane described her as a fierce protector of her children and a woman who believed in Derrick's dreams even when the odds seemed steep. She worked tirelessly to provide opportunities for him and remained a guiding voice throughout his life. Friends and family shared stories of how she would attend every game, regardless of weather or distance, her voice unmistakable from the stands, calling out encouragement and pride. As Harmon begins his NFL career, he carries not only the hopes of a team and a fan base but also the memory of his mother, etched deeply into his motivation. It's almost poetic in a tragic way. The moment he finally achieved the goal they both had worked so hard toward is also the moment she left him. Yet her influence will no doubt continue to drive him forward. Every rep in practice, every snap on game day, every moment he dons the Steelers' uniform, these will be in her honor. There's something universally poignant about the bond between a parent and a child chasing a dream together. It's a shared journey, filled with long car rides to practices, late-night pep talks after tough games, financial strain, and emotional investment. Harmon's story is not unique in that sense, but it is uniquely powerful in how suddenly joy and sorrow collided. In the coming weeks and months, Harmon will face the challenge of transitioning from college football to the NFL, while simultaneously grieving the loss of his greatest supporter. That's not a burden any 20-something-year-old should have to carry, but he will. And knowing what we know about him, his strength, his resilience, his character, it's likely he'll do it with a quiet dignity that continues to make his mother proud. The NFL, his teammates, and his coaches may never fully grasp the depth of the emotions he's navigating, but the football community has a way of rallying around its own. Harmon's story will likely inspire others in the league who have faced similar heartbreak. It may also encourage fans to look past the helmet and see the person underneath, the one who is chasing a dream not just for themselves, but for someone they love. There is, perhaps, no easy way to move forward from such a personal loss. But Harmon has something his mother helped instill in him: perseverance. He's already proven he has the grit to make it to the highest level of his sport. Now, He'll need that same resolve to navigate the emotional terrain ahead. Every step he takes on the field will be a tribute. Every success will echo with her memory. In time, Harmon will likely find ways to honor her in his professional life. Maybe through a foundation, maybe through public tributes, or perhaps just in the quiet moments before kickoff, looking skyward with a silent nod. For now, though, he grieves. And he learns to balance sorrow and pride, loss and legacy. The world may know Derrick Harmon as a promising defensive lineman for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but those closest to him will always see a son whose greatest achievement came with the deepest cost, and whose journey now continues with the memory of his mother guiding every step.